Hey, how about we each tell a scary story?
What?
Don't tell me you came camping without bringing one.
I love this kind of stuff.
All right, I got one.
All right, my turn. Look, if you've got a vivid imagination, maybe skip this one. Because even now, just thinking about it makes my skin crawl. This happened about a year ago. I was heading into the city to meet a friend, so I took the train. We were supposed to meet at the station, but she texted me she'd be late. The station was pretty old, 2 floors, and both floors had restrooms. The upstairs one was new, bright, well-maintained, but the downstairs one, dim, cold, smelled like mold. 2 tiny stalls, peeling paint, and flickering lights that buzzed softly in the background. I should have gone upstairs, but I was tired and didn't feel like climbing. So, I pushed open the downstairs restroom door and went into the first stall. Sitting there, scrolling through my phone, I heard something. Soft, dragging footsteps. Someone had come in. Didn't think much of it at first, until there was a knock, 3 sharp taps on my stall door. I paused. Why? The next stall's empty. I felt a flicker of annoyance, but before I could even react, bang. The wall between the stalls shuddered, like someone slammed their fist full force. I yelped, dropped my phone onto the grimy tile floor. Heart racing, half angry, half terrified, I leaned forward, reaching down to grab it. And that's when I saw him. A face. Twisted, head unnaturally bent sideways, peering at me through the narrow gap beneath the partition. I froze, completely. Couldn't breathe, couldn't scream, couldn't move. His eyes, they locked onto mine. And slowly, he straightened up. Then, without a word, he turned, opened the door, and left. His footsteps dragged across the floor, scraping, fading away into the station's empty hall. I sat there for I don't know how long, heart pounding so hard I thought I might pass out. Even now, I can still see his face, clear as day, waiting under that stall, smiling.
Well, I guess I'm never going to the bathroom with you, Mia. Okay, it's my turn, but this one's heavy. It's not just a spooky story, it's something my family actually went through. I was about 9, maybe 10. Back then, we had just moved into this big old open-style house because my mum opened a hair salon in town. We'd left our old place, said goodbye to all the neighbours, and started fresh. It was late summer, and my dad was always busy. He worked construction, managing crews, giving instructions, always up on the 2nd floor of the building site with his walkie-talkie, sometimes his old brick phone. That morning, he was getting ready to leave, already dressed and halfway out the door when Mum stopped him. She threw her arms around him, literally clung to him, stamping her feet like a child. I remember her voice shaking. "Honey, don't go to work today. Can't you just stay home, please?" "And Dad?" He laughed it off. "What are you on about, love? We're swamped. I can't just skip a whole day." Mum grabbed his hands tighter. "Please, just today. For me, okay? Stay home with us." But Dad shook his head. "Come on, what's gotten into you? You're acting strange." Then, Mum's voice dropped, barely above a whisper. "I'm sick. My stomach, it hurts so bad. I think I need to go to the hospital. Please come with me." That stopped him cold. He frowned, sighed, and finally gave in. He called the site and said he couldn't make it. I still remember watching Mum. Even after she convinced Dad, she didn't rush to get dressed or anything. She just sat there, hands shaking slightly, eyes darting to the bedroom. That evening, Mum was locked in the bedroom crying, while Dad sat outside smoking, silent. I wasn't allowed into the room, but I heard their voices through the door. That day, at the construction site, the site supervisor had taken Dad's place on the upper platform, holding the walkie-talkie. It had rained the night before, and there were plastic sheets covering part of the wet cement. The supervisor stepped on the wrong spot, slipped and fell. It wasn't a fatal height, but he landed right on a cluster of rebar, sharp metal rods sticking up like spears. They pierced straight through him.
Oh, man.
He died before the ambulance even arrived. But that's not the worst part. Later that night, Mum finally spoke. Her voice was hoarse, but cold. What was I supposed to do, huh? You didn't believe me. You never believed me. Dad asked, "Believe what? What are you talking about?" Mum whispered, "This morning, when I woke up, there was a woman lying in our bed, in my spot. She was laughing, a horrible little giggle, her hair, so long, jet black, spilling off the bed, stretching all the way to the front door. And when you were in the bathroom, that hair slithered under the door, reaching for you." Mum looked up at Dad, tears running down her face. "Would you have believed me even after the supervisor died?"
Man, after hearing you two, I'm seriously wondering why we even go on trips anymore. All right, so here's mine. This happened when I was a freshman in college. Me and some friends decided to get away for the weekend, and we found this super cheap cabin online. You know, one of those sketchy listings with no photos, just a phone number. It was way out in the mountains, isolated, quiet, no tourists. We thought, hey, perfect, cheap, peaceful, and we can party without anyone complaining. The place was old, a creaky L-shaped wooden cabin with a bunch of random tools, broken barrels, and, near the corner, a small set of stairs leading down to a metal door. Looked like some old storage cellar. We didn't think much of it. That night, after a day of hiking and messing around by the stream, we grilled some food, drank a little, and eventually piled into the living room, half watching some action movie on TV. Around midnight, we started hearing it. A cat. At first, it was just quiet meowing, but soon, it turned into this high-pitched, ear-splitting screech, like a baby crying mixed with claws on glass. We figured maybe it was fighting with a stray dog or something. So a couple of us stepped outside, thinking we'd throw it some snacks to calm it down. But as soon as we stepped onto the porch, the sound stopped, completely. We laughed it off, looked around, saw nothing. So we went back inside. Almost immediately, the screeching started again, louder, closer. One friend leaned out the window and shouted, "Shut up already!" And weirdly, it went quiet. By then, we were too tired to care. One by one, everyone drifted off to sleep. Except, around 3 a.m., the cat noises came back. I mean, constant, sharp, slicing through the dark. I buried my head under the blanket, gritting my teeth, telling myself to just make it to morning. Next day, we told the cabin owner about it. She just smiled and said, "Oh, the cat. Haven't heard it in a while. Must be excited to have guests again." Weird, right? But whatever. That night we were cooking dinner when the noises started again. This time, I was done. Me and two friends grabbed our phones, turned on the flashlights, and headed outside. We circled the cabin, following the sounds to the metal cellar door. The closer we got, the clearer the noise became. It was coming from inside. My friend knocked on the door. Suddenly, silence. We laughed nervously, shook a snack bag, and reached out to jiggle the door handle. Before we even touched it, the door creaked. It opened. Not fully, just a crack. Enough for us to freeze on the spot, hearts pounding. Through that tiny gap, we saw it. A face, pale, dark hair spilling forward, eyes glinting in the flashlight beam. She stared right at us. My throat tightened. I tried to speak, but all that came out was a stammer. "Cat, snacks." And then her lips stretched, not in a smile, more like baring her teeth. Her gums showed, mouth wide open, and she let out the sound. That horrible, tearing, screaming cat sound. From her mouth. We ran so hard we nearly broke the door getting back inside. We locked everything, huddled together, trying to explain to the others what we'd seen. And weirdly, after that, the cat noises stopped. Next morning, when we finally left, I saw something on the porch. The snack bag, the one we'd dropped outside the cellar. Someone, or something, had brought it back up. Even now, if I'm ever alone at night and I hear a cat crying somewhere, I get chills down my spine. Because sometimes, I wonder if it's just a cat.
Bloody hell, Nathan. I guess none of us are sleeping tonight.
That's not crazy, Ashley. Someplace, they hold things you can't explain.
Righto, Aisha, you're up.
Okay, my turn, yeah? So, back in high school, I remember going to a friend's house to work on this huge graduation project. We were so focused, but her cat was so cute. I ended up playing with it way too long and, well, it got late. It was already past 9 when I left. And in my town, after 9, no one's out. It's pretty rural, you know. But the street lights were on, so I didn't feel that scared. Still, you know how people always say it's risky for a girl to walk alone at night? Yeah, I wasn't exactly dressed for it either. I didn't mean to stay that late. I was just wearing something light, casual, not really thinking. So I was kind of nervous. But I had my phone tightly in my hand, walking fast. Then I got this weird feeling. You know that strange gut sense when someone's watching you? Yeah, that. I tried to shake it off. Maybe I was just spooking myself, right? I kept walking, but then I heard something, like soft footsteps. I spun around, nothing. Probably just a stray cat, I thought. So I kept going, only 15 more minutes to home. But then I noticed these two little lights, like small, faint lights, moving. I thought, cat's eyes, right? Reflecting the street light. But something was off. The lights were flickering, like not steady. I froze for a second, curious. I love cats. I even had cat treats in my bag. So I waited. But then, the sound. The steps were too loud, too heavy, and they were getting close, way too fast. My chest tightened. I knew. This wasn't a cat. It wasn't even a dog. This was something big, something wrong. I ran, like full-on sprinting. I didn't even look back. After what felt like forever, I saw this little shop. The lights were on. I ran inside, gasping, shaking. The old man running the place was this huge guy, super solid. I felt safe. Then a man showed up at the door. Thin, ragged, wild eyes. He just stared inside and then ran off. But he had knives, 2 of them, 1 in each hand. And those little lights I saw, they weren't cat eyes. They were the kitchen knives, catching the street light, flickering as he walked.